Okay.
Welcome to the Fine Print, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caleb Teskey, and today I am joined by my very first cannabis guest that I had on at my show back in April. It's Damien Evans from Higher Elevation. Damien, thank you for being here, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. This is boy, a lot has changed since we spoke last time in April. Um,
But
First of all, I'd like to ask you. I believe you guys had a baby since we met. How is your child doing?
she's doing good. She's doing good as all can be with everything going on. She was born with cystic fibrosis, CF.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so she doesn't have the best lungs, and so we've been having to be very careful, especially with just the COVID season and everything. Because I mean, it's because she has a lung problem and everything. It's kind of a touchy thing right now, trying to get her through this. But hopefully once she can hopefully within a year and everything she'll be able to get a shot that helps people with CF, like 3 years or something. She'll be able to get it, and it'll basically make it like she doesn't have it. So
Cool.
but other
Well,
than that, she's super healthy, super tall, doing well, and Bailey's doing well also.
good, good. I'm sorry she couldn't be here with us. But I assume someone's got to hold down the fort while we're doing this.
Exactly, she's got baby stuff to take care of right
Yeah, yeah.
now.
So I want to ask you, Damien. Like I said, I feel like a lot like since we talked last time in April, you guys have had your dispensary approved. You've had
Yep.
a baby, and I'd
Mhm.
love to know sort of how business is going, and what we're looking like at this point in the game.
Well, right now business is going very well.
Awesome.
Basically, Bailey's projections for the business were actually below what we expected. It's actually better than what we expected, her projections. So that's a really good thing too. So it's going good. It seems like each week we surpass our largest day in sales each week, it seems like. And I mean, the tourist season starting doesn't hurt that also.
Yeah, we're just coming into a ski season here, and I'm
Yep.
super curious to see how you guys sort of do through that season as well.
Yes, especially with Stowe not allowing dispensaries at the moment and everything. And
Yeah.
with us and Lamoille County being the closest and everything, I expect us to do some pretty good business over the next few months.
And that's a super interesting point you make because I've talked to a number of people in Stowe who said that really that's an image issue, sort of. They're afraid that if they opt in, people will see Stowe as sort of a stoner town, which currently I see it as sort of an alcoholic town. And for me, when I hear those kind of arguments, they kind of fall flat because I think you know where I land on the cannabis argument.
Yeah, and it's places like Stowe, because I grew up in a place called Clarkston in Michigan, which is almost identical to Stowe in the sense of like the wealth and everything and the type of people that live there. And I got to be honest with you, the town I grew up in is the same way about cannabis. They don't want cannabis in their town. They don't want the dispensaries at all. But you know what the funny thing is? Almost every business owner and every person in that town uses cannabis. They don't want the riffraff coming into their town to buy it, which is a bunch of BS.
Yeah, and that strikes me as just incredibly hypocritical,
Yes.
especially like when you're enjoying something, but you're sort of stereotyping other people as enjoying the same thing. And I really just, I fucking can't stand that, man. And I'm still seeing a lot of that out here, which drives me nuts, man. Are you still seeing a lot of that here?
Honestly, me personally, I haven't really ran into anyone in Vermont personally that's been very naysay against cannabis.
Awesome. Well,
I've
that's great.
been
That's great to hear, man.
I ran into people that was like, I don't consume it, but I'm happy that it's here. It's going to bring money to the state and everything. I ran into a lot of people like that.
Okay, cool. Well, that's really encouraging, man, because I'm still seeing a lot of the pushback. I'm still seeing a lot of this sort of reefer madness. Um, but I'm guessing that people that are walking into your store are like happy customers, and the people that I'm interacting with are still kind of, a lot of the angry parents groups and things like that.
Yeah, and like literally the first comment people come into the stove, they're like, it smells so good in here.
Your build out looked amazing, Damien, and I had the pleasure of stopping into your store a couple of times, and it really looks great in there. Would you care to tell us like who helped you build out your facility, and maybe who helped you stock it full of wonderful products?
Yes, unfortunately, I don't remember the construction people that helped us out and everything. I don't remember them, but I do know like JD Electric. They've been helping out with redoing our lighting and everything and our electricals. They're the ones that hung all our TVs and everything. And very grateful for them because we literally called them about a week before we had to open and everything. And he was more than happy to squeeze us in. So, and that's one of the interesting things with like doing the build outs and everything. I've found that if the people are very interested in cannabis, they'll fit you into their schedule like no other, which has been great. But the stuff in our store, our glass was mostly stocked by the Berm Gallery, gave us a lot of the stuff.
No shit.
We actually did a wholesale order with the Berm Gallery, and I don't want to say the wrong person, but I think it's Sean, one of their employees did a lot of glass blowing for us. They made quite a few pieces for us, and very grateful for that.
And you guys have a really nice glass display there. I see you bought Kayla Winstar's piece from the Pipe Classic there, which was an absolute just banger.
Yes, that is Bailey's other baby. That's her second baby.
Kayla is amazing. Her work is just unbelievable.
Yes, and all the people at the Burn Gallery have been a great support system too for questions and everything, because we've never owned like a glass shop or anything like that before. So they've been really great to lean on for advice and everything, and we can't thank them enough.
Yeah, I just love Tito, man. He's put me in touch with some wonderful people out here. And he invited me to the after party after the Pipe Classic, so I got to go meet some of those glass blowers, and I just had a fucking blast, man.
No, literally, the Burn Gallery, Michelle and Troy from Highly Rooted, and Chris from Freedom Flower, all of those people, like they're some of the first people we met in this industry and everything, and they really they took us under their wing and everything, and they really we wouldn't be where we are without them. Let's just say that we're very grateful for their help.
Wow, that's awesome to hear, man.
They're introduced us to so many people and made so many connections for us. It's amazing.
Now, Damien, can I ask you about something? This was a big issue that came up after this 7 Days article that ran about the advertising. And I would like to ask you sort of how that played out. And I know that a lot of people heard from the CCB about that. I'd like to know sort of how you ended up placing the ad and sort of what their reaction was to that ad.
So basically, we got an email from 7 Days saying that, asking if we want to advertise in their cannabis issue in September. And I was like, sure, why not? Seems like a good idea. We got the email. It was kind of last minute. We got the email, like the paper was going out in like a week, I think, and everything. So we had very short time. We got someone to make an ad and everything really quick. And we posted and everything. We sent it to them to put in the paper. Well, I should have reread the Cannabis Control Board rules and everything about advertising and realized that I made a boo-boo. That we made a boo-boo.
So what was the boo-boo, would you say?
So apparently we were supposed to have the warning label on the ad. So basically, like you can't smoke if you're pregnant, children, all that stuff. The warning.
So all the things that are required sort of on the packaging are also required on the advertising.
Yes, exactly. Okay. That's what it is. And also, not only that, the CCB then has to approve it. And I think I read that could be like, it takes 15 days to get it approved. and they could be like, they could not approve it and everything, and then you could just miss your deadline for your advertisement and everything.
Sure. And it seemed like a lot of people ran ads in that episode of 7 Days, or version. I'm not sure what we call that, but
Yeah.
I saw a lot of cannabis related ads from other companies in Vermont. And a number of them also told me they heard from the CCB as well.
Yep. And I will say this, at least it was just a warning they gave and everything.
Oh, is Bailey coming in?
I think so.
All right. Are we going to get a Bailey sighting? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had someone join in the middle of a meeting, but this is awesome. All right. Yeah.
Bailey.
Hey. Can you hear us, Bailey?
Yes, I can hear
Fantastic.
you.
All
Yep,
right.
I can hear you.
All right. How are you today, Bailey?
Good.
Good, good. We were just talking about the advertising and the 7 Days article that ran.
Oh, yep. That was disappointing.
In what sense would you say, Bailey?
In the sense that like I was the one who helped like make the advertisement. Like we hired somebody to do it, but I was kind of like, oh, I want this and that. And I tried really hard to make it like friendly to everybody. And then, we get a thing in our email being like, yeah, this violates all the rules. And I'm like, what rules?
Well, right. And I have read a lot of their rules, and I saw your ad, and I was also curious which rules that broke, because I didn't really like. It seems like the big one is you're not advertising to kids. That seems like the number one, and your ad seems fairly innocuous in terms of cannabis ads. And I'm wondering if they had any specific complaints that you would care to mention.
So that we didn't get it approved by them was one of their complaints. And the second complaint was it didn't have the warning label on it.
Okay. Yep. Which, and to be fair, I mean, those do seem like fair complaints based on their rules. Although I do think that those rules are a bit overkill, quite frankly.
Yeah, I just personally, it's hard for me when I see ads with alcohol and everything like that. I don't drink alcohol at all and everything, but you
don't drink at all, huh, Damien?
No, I don't drink at all. And so when it's like you open up a newspaper and can see all these advertisements for alcohol and everything, but a shame if there's something on cannabis or something. Like it's still a little disheartening and everything.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree with you there, man. I do think, and honestly, I kind of agree with the state on this one. I don't think anyone should be advertising to children, but I've never met a cannabis company that has tried to do that ever in my life. Like, of all the people I've met, I've never met a single person that wants cannabis to get into the hands of a child.
Exactly. And especially especially in Vermont with all these small companies and everything, your local people and everything, like your small mom and pop shops, they don't want the game into the kids' hands, especially.
Nobody does, man. That fucks up the whole game for everybody.
Exactly. It just screws everything up and leads to a bad image. Like no one wants that.
Thank you, Damien. Fucking some reason in the discussion here.
Yeah.
Bailey, how are you doing? So, thank you for joining us here. How's business going? How's your child doing? It's nice to see you. I really thank you guys for joining me again. How are you?
Good. I was a little late because the hospital called me and wanted to schedule her anesthesia, so they were giving me the lowdown on that. So, yeah, that took a little longer than I thought.
I love your headband. What do you got going there?
It's roses.
Beautiful. Now, you guys have been working together. What's it like as a sort of a family-run business? Are you getting sick of each other, or are you loving it, or some kind of combination of the two?
It's definitely some sort of combination of the two. I mean, owning a business is stressful. Also having a newborn is stressful. So it's definitely fun and rewarding, but at times can be a little frustrating.
Sure.
I mean,
And I feel like that's probably the nature of the beast in any business, especially
to me, it's all worth it. Like after like we've been like at work all day and everything, it's really nice to just go home and actually like, for me personally, to see Bailey and Mifa, to see them both together and everything, and just being able to sit and talk with them, like that's nice and everything. And it's personally for me, it's nice working with Bailey for me because you feel like you have a partner in the business. You don't feel so alone and everything in the business because there's someone else that I can rely on that's there.
And I think that's, you know, when you go to work, there are a lot of people that I've talked to that just sort of hate their jobs and they feel very isolated there. And so I thought that was a great sentiment there, Damien.
Yeah, no, and also having our manager Kyle is a really huge help also.
I like him. He's great at the front there.
Yes, he is amazing. We are so glad we brought him along from Michigan.
Oh, he's also from Michigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
He went to college with him and Bailey met before I met her and everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I've known him forever. He's like a brother.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so when we moved to Vermont, we were like, yo, do you want to join us and everything? And he was like, he was basically like, I hate Michigan also, so let's get the hell out of here.
Can I ask you guys about some of the growers that you're working with? I'd love to hear about some of the herb you're selling and how that's moving.
Bailey, this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah, Bailey.
Yeah, this is I do the ordering, so this is mostly me. So we work with a lot of growers. So we've been working with Old School, which is right out of Morrisville. And their stuff is selling pretty well. We've run out of almost, I think, everything by them. We're supposed to be getting a new shipment in either this week or next week from them. So that's very local, selling great. People like it.
Right, they're
Hyde
Park or something. They're very close by, right?
They're Morrisville. They're
Morrisville,
actual okay. Morrisville.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then we just got in Emerald Vision, which that's just a beautiful indoor grow.
Nick is
we love everything. He was like, oh, what do you want? Yeah.
I love everything he's doing.
I'm like, all of them.
His room always looks super clean. Everything just looks really well dialed in. And yep. Points for Nick.
And people have been loving that. Like we got 7 strains in from him. And I think we're sold out of like 2 of them now already. And like we haven't even had it for a week.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. There's certain things that we get in, and we sold out of peanut butter breath, but we just got more in from Fierce because that's another.
Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, Fierce is another one we work with.
I'm a big fan of Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jimmy too. They're going to be coming off an interview here soon, and I really like what those guys are doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're so nice. They dropped off the other day and they're like, oh, your place looks so nice. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
It does. It's really
so,
you guys really crushed the build out. The space just feels very inviting. I love the waiting room with all of the pipes and everything. It's perfect. You guys nailed it.
Thank you.
So sorry to interrupt you there, but
no, I'm trying to like think of all the growers. I think our newest one is Amanama, which they're an outdoor grow, and they actually have little ponds to pick their bud out of the jar, which is just kind of a cool, fun concept.
Hell yeah. I've never heard of them.
Yeah. We have a lot of growers coming to us and being like, hey, would you like to, carry our stuff? We have a lot of tier 1s actually who are coming to us, and we're like, yeah, sure.
That's great. That was supposed to be the spirit of this market, I believe, when Vermont sort of opened it up, was to sort of support a lot of small outdoor farmers, and I love to see that. Yeah,
and that's definitely what we're doing. We also carry Mend, Northern Craft is working with a lot of different groups. Greencastle Reserve out of Johnson. We have some of their stuff. Hella Good. We have some of their stuff. Obviously, there's some men products that are white labeled through Northern Craft.
I've been seeing a lot of the men stuff coming out.
Yep. And then of course we have Cannabis Collective as well that's all of our flower that we currently.
I love Chris and Hannah. They're super good people over there.
Yeah, they've been hooking us up with pre-rolls, which that's our most popular seller we found.
Really?
Yeah, people love it because it's the variety. They could be like, oh, I haven't tried that. It's an easy thing to grab and all you need is a lighter.
Okay, which you probably sell also.
Yes, we do. We sell it all. It's a one-stop shop.
I know, and I really love your glass display cases. I believe Kelly Katana was someone that you guys told me to interview. That, or maybe that was you guys. I don't know.
I think I told you to check her out. We're getting actually. It's funny you mentioned that. She messaged me today. We commissioned some pieces from her, and we're like, "Oh, we want to carry your stuff." She's going to be in next Tuesday with her cases for us to go through. So
okay, maybe I can come say hi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really liked her. I had her on for an interview, and she was great. She really combines sort of functionality and price into a range that I think is really good for Vermonters. Because like, and no disrespect to Tito, but some of that shit over at the Tito at the Burn Gallery is just too expensive, and I can't afford it as much as I'd love to support that kind of thing. But Kelly really brings it down to a range that makes it affordable for your everyday smoker, I think.
Yeah, and that's I just love her work. Like in general, it's very much my vibe. Like everything she makes, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I met her at the Pipe Classic, and she was just a lot of fun.
I didn't meet her there. I was there for a minute, but we didn't meet there. But a couple of my friends put me onto her, and I had her on for an interview, and we just did a total impromptu joint for like 20 minutes, and she just walked outside and did it like on a bench out in front of her building. Like, she's great. I really like her.
Oh yeah.
And then going to have Puffco here soon.
Oh, right. And did somebody tell me they stopped delivering to Vermont for a little while? Did that happen?
I don't think so, because I know the Burn Gallery like had them through like the last year. So I know that there's issues with like the vaping tax gets like all confusing and everything, but it was a rigorous process to become a Puffco dealer. I worked on it for like 2-3 weeks.
Really? So they're vetting their retailers. They want to they're checking you guys out.
Yes. Okay. They ask for a lot of information, like, which is nice to know, like, that they care. And like, I know I'm working with an amazing, product, but like, at the same time, I was like, man, you need a lot of information. Okay.
I actually talked to the Puffco guys out in Vegas at the convention, and they're going to come on for an interview, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah. Our representative he's super nice and always willing to work with us. So
they seemed like really good people. And I know it's a convention, and I know I'm getting a sales pitch at every table that I walk up to, but they nailed it, and I appreciate a good sales pitch. If you got a good company and you got a good sales pitch, I'll give you an interview. And I really like those guys, and I have a Puffco, and it's really been a game changer for me personally, because it's let me smoke a lot less. I could do 2 or 3 dabs a day as opposed to smoking 4 or 5 joints, So I'm taking in a lot less smoke, which my lungs seem really happy about.
Yeah. And we've already had questions about, when are they going to come in? Are you going to have like these parts and everything? And I'm like, I've told our front workers, I'm like, if there's a part that people need, just write it down and I can always add it to an order.
The 3D chamber is really helpful.
I did get those. That was one of the things in our initial order we will actually have.
It's nice because you can get it on the sides. Like the normal one only burns on the bottom. So if you get it on the sides, it gets kind of caked up really easy, and it's harder to clean. So that 3D chamber really does help a lot, which I don't like to be snobby about my vaping devices, but that shit really helped. Well, I wanted to ask you too, Damien, when we first spoke, you had asked a question about moving a dispensary to a different location. And I wanted to know if you ever got an answer to that or where we sort of landed on that.
Actually, the CCB had a meeting yesterday, and they did some rule changes in that meeting. They changed some of the rules of the cannabis industry.
Oh, yeah.
And one, I need to look at it some more, but it looks like they did add something about that. They did
Okay.
add that in the rules. So what it sounds like basically is like, we don't have to reapply for a license. It just has to be built. They have to inspect it. As long as it meets their criteria, it's good to operate in, is what it
Okay.
sounds like. I have
Which
to
is-
I have to reread the rules because they just put it out yesterday, the new rules.
I saw some of that, but I fell asleep about halfway through that meeting because it seemed like it was taking forever.
I know that was taking so long. I just wanted to see who was getting licensed, to be honest with you. I
Yep.
can read the rules on my own at another
Yeah.
time.
Me too. Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about it.
Like at this point, I'm just watching those meetings to see who's getting licensed and everything. And
Sure.
we were extremely excited about the people who got licensed this last meeting.
I was happy to see my dude Dusty up there in Jeffersonville.
Oh,
Dusty.
yes,
Dusty.
we are very happy for Dusty over there at
And
Cambridge.
I'd really yeah, let me ask either one of you guys this. When do you think we might see some concentrates on the shelves here? I bet this isn't the first time you've heard that question either.
Oh man, every day at work. Hey,
Yep, every day.
concentrates in.
Well, I'm sorry to do it again, but I am curious.
So I do have one person they are building out their space and everything, and they're going to be ready in 2023. They're going to be ready, it looks like. And it looks like one of their main focus is going to be concentrates, and they're going to have some concentrates ready. So I do have one person lined up that we're going to have it by next year, but it is really hard to find people that can get it under that 60%.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, especially if you're going to be selling Puffco stuff, you know?
Yes.
I know. And that's the hard part is we've had a couple of people like that we were talking to. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing concentrates. And then they get back to us. They're like, oh yeah, I tested at 64. And I'm like, darn.
Yep.
What a shame. You make a really good product.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Terrible.
60% is killing all of us.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest. Like, I know this isn't the solution either. 60 wasn't the answer. They should have done 70. I know 70 isn't good either, but you can at least get it under 70.
I thought there should have been no limit because
Well,
I don't even know what that limit is. I had never even heard the phrase THC caps before I started covering this story. And I still don't know anybody in the industry who subscribes to those caps. Not a single retailer or grower or manufacturer. Nobody agrees with those rules.
The caps are they're pointless, and all they're doing is they're helping the black market. That's all they're doing. Like, because people come in looking for high dosage edibles. We don't have it. Sorry. Okay, bye. Guess where they're going? They're going to the black market.
Right.
I mean, I know the state wants to get rid of the black market, but
you're right that, and the packaging is another one of those things, especially with the edibles that 50 milligrams per package. It's like, you know, and I see some places are offering a discount for medical patients or veterans or things like that, which I really appreciate. But, you know, for people like my friends who hit me up and they say, hey, we're looking for edibles, like at this price point, like I feel bad telling them to go to a dispensary. Like 30 milligrams or $30 for 50 milligrams of edibles is crazy. I could get a 500 milligram chocolate bar for $10 from my black market guy, you know? So they've set up a situation that is not necessarily, in my opinion, encouraging people to take part in the legal market.
Yeah, I feel that way about the vape carts and everything and all that. Like, anytime someone buys a vape cart we sell them for $100, we barely make $7 on each
for a
one.
gram vape cart. Wow.
For a gram, we barely make $7 after all the taxes and everything. Wow. And like when people buy that and everything, I feel I feel slightly bad and
That's
everything because
fucking crazy, dude.
that's
100.
ridiculous. Like I'm sorry. When we visited Michigan for a wedding, last year, and the vape carts there, I think $40.
You
And
know,
it's
and I pay like 25 for my black market guy for a gram distillate cart.
exactly,
You know,
and
and I
that's
wouldn't even mind paying 40 or something, but 100 is just
it's
that's
100
out of my
because
price range, way
ex-
out.
exactly, because at least $40 you can be like, okay, it's been tested, it's been through a
Sure.
lab, it's
Yeah.
been, it's
Right.
going to be
Maybe my friends run the dispensary. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm okay with
Exactly.
that.
Yes,
A hundred is just
it's
insane.
no bueno, not good. Sorry, but
Damn.
it's bad.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we're going to see some movement on the THC caps here and the vape tax, especially in the next legislative session. And I will be
Yes.
sitting in there doing whatever I can to try to. I'm
Oh,
not
we are.
supposed to. I'm not supposed to try to affect policy. I'm the journalist, so I'm supposed to stay neutral. But as a person who enjoys cannabis, I want to be able to enjoy the best quality products that I can get, and
Just for
and these rules are hampering that for me personally.
exactly, and that's the thing. Cannabis is for everyone. It's like everyone over the age of 21, of course. It's
Yeah.
for everyone.
Good save, buddy.
It's for everyone over the age of 21. But like, I mean, some people, it helps some people. Like, just people can make their own decisions on how much they want to consume and all that. Like,
Right. Like you go to
I
a
know,
liquor store, there's no, I mean, they tell you can't buy grain alcohol, but you can still sign a piece of paper and get that if you want it. You know, but there's no like restrictions. Like, you know, if you want something, if you want a Bud Light, you can get that. If you want a bottle of vodka, you can go get that. And there's no alcohol caps, you know? It's
mhm.
which seems wild because you can actually die from alcohol.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we have a THC cap for something that's never killed anybody.
Yep. And then another thing that's really irritating is having a child and us both working at a dispensary and everything. Like we've talked to the lawyers and everything. There's like we can't even do a switch off, like bring her in here or anything, even though she's a child and everything, even though this is a family business also and everything.
Really?
And
So
it's
you
like
got to pay for childcare.
if or her one of a family member has to watch her and everything. And it's like it's so I just find it stupid, in my opinion, because growing up, I grew up in a business family to where like I was at work all the time with my family and everything. And because that's just, they were working all the time, starting a business and everything.
Sure.
That's just how it is. When you're starting a business, the family is there all the time and everything.
So if you could bring
And
your kid to work every day, you would do that.
if we were able to, until a certain age,
Right.
until a certain age,
I get you.
because
I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to
yeah,
put you in a weird spot,
oh
but that
no,
is going
yeah,
to
it's
cost you. That childcare is not fucking cheap here, man.
exactly, and that's the thing because, like, I mean, up until she's able to walk and everything and crawl and all that, like, we can keep her in a crib and everything here and be able to watch her and everything, but it's just we can't because it's a cannabis establishment, man. But we can take her into a liquor store.
You know, which kills me because I feel like personally, I think that alcohol is advertised to kids in the exact same ways that they are trying to eliminate cannabis from advertising to kids. You got cotton candy flavored vodka and every fruity different flavor under the sun, and that seems to me like advertising to children. And
And
you can take
there's
that top right off. It's not fucking childproof. You can
nope.
right? Am I
And
wrong?
no, you're
No.
not
Okay.
wrong. And also the fact I'm not dissing beer companies or anything, but some beer companies, some of their designs are really very children like. I'm just saying.
You are correct, dude. I agree with you. And some of them have very nice art, but some of that shit definitely like appeals to my childish heart, you know, which I still have a lot
Exactly.
of, you know. And I don't even like beer that much, but some of their cans, I'm like, holy shit, that looks nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah, exactly. And
You
it's
know, I
like
like liquor. I don't even drink beer, but some of their cans really appeal to, you know, and I see a lot of cartoonish looking sort of designs and things like that, which I think in the weed space is kind of cheesy personally. some of those, I think there's a lot of bad marketing in both
Yes.
of these industries.
And I do agree with you. There is like some of the stuff in cannabis that is cartoony is super cheesy looking. Like
It's terrible. There's a lot of bad.
It has no place in it. There's no place.
I agree.
Like, I mean, it's just, and I understand their concern about advertising to children. I wholeheartedly understand.
Me too.
that.
I'm with them, and I think everyone in the industry is also with them.
Exactly.
Nobody wants kids to get a hold of weed. No one that I've ever met.
Nope. I have not met one person that's into cannabis that I've met in my life that wants to give cannabis to kids. Like
me either. And it seems like there was a lot of overblown sort of fluff and puff from the state about it when nobody in the industry, like, these are pretty responsible people as far as I could tell.
they are. It's funny you say that. It's like people, the stereotypical stoner is lazy and everything, but look at all these stoners that have started businesses and everything.
I know, dude. I got to get up at 6:30 in the morning to get a phone call with these people because they're up at the ass crack of dawn. Like these lazy stoners, goddamn, they fucking work really hard. They've made me get out of bed early. They're so lazy.
Yeah. The cultivators, they're like, we get up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, that sounds awful.
I'm like, I wake up at 9. Thank you. You can wait a bit.
These lazy stoners. God
I know, right? So lazy.
Well, listen, guys, I'm about out of questions here. I want to, I always leave the last word for my guests here. So, Bailey, I'm so glad that you popped in here with us. Thank you so much. Damien, it's a pleasure to have you on again.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for your time. And if you have any final words here, I'm going to leave this open for you guys.
If you got anything, Bailey, go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Caleb, for having us. It's always a pleasure to talk.
Thanks for having me up to your house, too. It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Anytime.
Definitely. Whoever arranged that shelf with all the animes and the dolls is a serial killer, and we'll talk about that later.
That would be Damien.
Amazing. It's amazing. And you can tell like his meticulous nature comes out in your shop. Everything is so clean. And when you walk in, it's just beautiful. And you guys have set up just such a beautiful space there. Sorry, I was taking your last word.
Oh, no.
No, it's fine.
No.
I have no last words.
Yeah, we don't got anything else to say. Thank you for those kind words, Caleb. I cannot speak today, damn it.
All right, Damien. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. Damien Evans, Bailey Verner, Higher Elevation. I hope business is going well. And I wish you guys the best of luck as always. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Be good, guys. Yeah.